defensive assignment. In my opinion, I don't want to use the word running because I'm not trying to disrespect LeBron. But I will say this. There have been many, many occasions where I would have liked to have seen him accepting the tougher defensive assignment, and that is not something that he has been prone to do. If anybody would know whether or not that statement is true, it would be you, GP. Your thoughts?
Well, it is true. I think it's a different little era with them, too. Michael Jordan always took it to a point that he wanted to guard the best player, even with myself.
Gary Payton didn't just share an opinion. He lit a match and threw it straight into the NBA's most sensitive debate. One of the greatest defenders ever, a Hall of Famer who actually lived in the fire, went on live TV and ripped apart the LeBron James GO case without blinking. And this wasn't some hot take artist fishing for clicks. This was the glove, a man whose respect in basketball circles is ironclad, flat out refusing to play along with a storyline that's been force-fed to fans for years. This wasn't polite. This wasn't cautious. This was a straight-up takedown. And the wild part, you could feel how personal it was. The moment those words hit, the reaction from LeBron's side was instant, emotional, and loud. Suddenly, legends started choosing sides, timelines exploded, and what felt like a settled debate cracked wide open again. So what did Gary Payton actually say that shook the entire league? And why does this feel less like a debate and more like the start of a full-blown basketball war?
That artist, you're attacking me by extension, right? And it's just all so tiring right now.
I also think another part of it, and I'm curious what you think about this. I think the GOAT discussion and the favorite player discussion became intertwined in a way that was problematic, right?
Yeah.
And so what I mean by that is when somebody says that's my GOAT, it is not simply that you think that they are the greatest player. It's that they are also your favorite player.
It happened on what was supposed to be the most normal segment imaginable, a quiet Tuesday morning sports show back in January 2025. Gary Payton was booked to talk hoops, crack a few stories from the old days, maybe hype the new generation. Easy work. But the second the host casually slid in the GO question and asked where LeBron stacks up all time, the temperature in the room changed. You could see it before you even heard it. Gary leaned forward. His face tightened. That edge he used to lock up superstars came right back. And then he said it. Calm, firm, no hesitation. Respect for LeBron? Absolutely. But this non-stop campaign to put him over Michael Jordan? That's where Gary drew the line. He said it's time to stop pretending those eras are the same. The studio went silent. Awkward quiet. The kind you feel through the screen. And Gary wasn't done. He reminded everyone he actually played against Jordan. He lived in that league. And what people are watching today, in his words, doesn't match the war he remembers. Different rules. Different physicality. Different pressure. When hosts tried to interrupt and soften the moment, Gary shut it down with a raised hand and went even harder. Stats are cool, he said, but let's talk about how the game's been protected, how stars are managed, how super teams changed everything. And then he dropped the line that made jaws hit the floor. 6 finals losses. 6. Jordan never let a finals opponent celebrate once. Not ever. And just like that, what started as a casual interview turned into the clip everyone in basketball couldn't stop talking about.
Say that, and my retort to that would be 6 NBA Finals losses.
So they'll hold on.
It's 6 final losses. 6 final losses.
Let me ask you a question.
6.
I just want you to tell me one thing. We're going to debate this.
Sure.
Tell me the team that he faced that was the 2017 or the 2018 Golden State Warriors.
What do you mean? I don't understand your question.
Michael Jordan. Tell me the team.
Michael Jordan?
I want you to tell me the team that Michael Jordan faced that was the equivalent of the 17 and 18.
No one. Can I respond to that?
Sure.
Can I say why? No one. Do you know why? Because none of them had Jordan.
No.
That's exactly why.
Okay, let me
That's exactly why. See. That's the ultimate equalizer or usurper. Pick whichever one you want to pick. You don't understand that Jordan is 6-0 in NBA Finals?
Yes.
Do you understand that Jordan was MVP all 6 NBA Finals?
Yes.
Do you understand that Jordan never even allowed a final series to go 7 games? You understand that? It never went 7 games.
I also know he didn't start going to the finals until Larry Bird went out.
Excuse me. 10-time NBA scoring champion. 9-time all-defensive first team. You do know that, right?
Yeah.
All right, so in other words, is LeBron on both sides of the ball? Was he that dominant?
Oh, he was the better. You know he should have won it. You know he should have won it.
Are you kidding me?
Stephen A.
Are you kidding me?
Stephen A. Give me this.
Okay.
You know good and well LeBron James should have one defensive player of the year. How does Marc Gasol, who's a second-team all-defensive player, be defensive player of the year?
I agree with that. I agree with that.
And here's why Gary Payton's words hit so differently. This wasn't random hate or nostalgia talking. This was surgical. He went straight for the pillars holding up the LeBron GOAT case and started pulling them apart one by one. First, the numbers. The points, the longevity, the all-around stats everyone loves to throw out. Gary didn't deny them. He reframed them. 20-plus seasons in an era built for offense will do that, he argued. Faster pace. More threes. Rules that open the floor and protect scorers. Then he dragged the conversation back to his era. Hand-checking allowed, bodies flying, no defensive 3-second safety net. You earned everything. But the moment that really set social media on fire was when he landed on the finals record. 6-0 versus 4-6. And Gary made it clear, showing up and losing isn't greatness. Perfection on the biggest stage is. His voice didn't rise, but the intensity did. Then came the question nobody wanted asked: who were LeBron's defining rivals? The kind we'll still talk about decades from now. He pointed out the team-ups, the shifting alliances, the lack of a single enemy LeBron had to conquer over and over again. Then he rattled off Jordan's path like a roll call of nightmares: Detroit, New York, Reggie, Ewing, Malone, Stockton. Every round was a fight. Finally, Gary leaned back and said the quiet part out loud. LeBron is an all-time great, top 5 without question. But he isn't Michael. And the reason this hurts so many people is because deep down they know it too. The media just doesn't like saying it anymore. Gary did. And now the question is simple. Do you agree with the glove? Or is this the moment the GOAT debate explodes all over again? Drop your take, because this conversation is far from over.
I always tell people it's about an era. Yeah. What y'all did. Yeah. That's why I don't like people to ask me about a GOAT. Because a GOAT ain't going to work for me. Okay. Because y'all didn't play the same time as each other. Right? So I can't.
Within minutes, Gary Payton's words were everywhere. Clips ripped through timelines at lightning speed, flooding every major sports feed, every algorithm, every debate corner online. Headlines screamed that Gary had just blown up the LeBron GOAT narrative, and the reaction wasn't loud, it was volcanic. LeBron fans went into full defense mode. Comment sections turned toxic instantly. Accusations flew. Bitter. Jealous. Chasing relevance. One viral post mocked Gary's resume, pointing out he won only one championship and questioning how someone like that could criticize LeBron at all. That take exploded, pulling in hundreds of thousands of likes. But here's what people missed. For every angry LeBron supporter, there were just as many old-school fans celebrating. They felt seen, vindicated, like someone with real credibility finally said what they'd been biting their tongue about for years. Thank You Gary started trending as timelines filled with Jordan playoff clips labeled, "This is what GOAT really looks like." And then the quiet part got louder. Other legends started speaking, carefully but clearly. One former champion dropped a cryptic post standing next to Michael Jordan, trophies in hand, with a caption about truth and history not being rewritten. The message wasn't subtle. Another Hall of Famer flat out said Gary voiced what many were afraid to admit: losing that many times on the biggest stage would have been unacceptable back then. Winning wasn't optional. Competing wasn't enough. And then the rumor mill kicked into overdrive. Word spread that LeBron had seen the clip. And according to people close to him, it didn't sit well. To understand why Gary went that hard on national TV, you have to understand Gary Payton. This is someone who built his career on being doubted. Not flashy, not towering, just relentless. He made a Hall of Fame living off defense, the one thing that almost never gets proper respect in GOAT debates. Night after night, he guarded the league's best scorers. He talked trash to legends and backed it up. So when he sees modern greatness measured mostly by points, longevity, and online hype instead of rings and resistance, it hits a nerve. To Gary, the GOAT conversation is simple. Win when it matters. Dominate the best. Don't let excuses enter the room. And by that standard, he believes Michael Jordan is standing alone. But runs deeper than stats. Gary comes from a generation that took pride in beating rivals, not teaming up with them. Super teams weren't the goal, they were the enemy. You wanted to knock the giants off, not build them. And fairly or not, LeBron has become the symbol of a different philosophy. From Miami to Cleveland to everywhere he's influenced roster construction, it represents a shift Gary never embraced. That frustration boiled over. Not hate, frustration. Frustration that losing feels acceptable now if the box score shines. That loyalty feels optional. That grinding it out with one core doesn't mean what it used to. LeBron never responded directly. He's too polished for that. But his socials did the talking. First came the Instagram story, black screen, white text, a message about people not wanting to see you past their heroes. No names. No need. Then a tweet about forgetting the journey while critiquing the destination. Subtle but pointed. His supporters moved fast. Analysts fired back, reminding everyone LeBron went to 10 finals, not one, and that Gary's lone ring came on a loaded roster. Active players showed love with crown emojis and captions about greatness attracting hate. Behind the scenes, reports surfaced saying LeBron's camp felt the comments were unnecessary and disrespectful, especially coming from someone he respected. He was advised to ignore it. But by then, it didn't matter. The damage was done. The debate was back, louder than ever. Because the truth is, the GOAT debate has never really been about basketball. It's about identity. About protecting the era that made you fall in love with the game. For those who lived through Jordan's reign, he isn't just a player, he's the standard. And watching LeBron get placed beside or above him feels personal. For younger fans, LeBron is the greatest they've ever seen. His longevity, his brain, his control of the game defines greatness to them. So when a legend like Gary Payton challenges that, it feels like erasing 2 decades of memories. Both sides feel right, and both sides feel attacked. Jordan can be the most ruthless winner the league has ever known. LeBron can be the most complete, durable, intelligent superstar basketball has produced. Different eras, different rules, different paths. But sports culture doesn't allow gray areas. We demand one answer, one crown, one GOAT. Gary Payton forced everyone to choose again, and that's why this moment mattered. So now it's on you. Can greatness exist without tearing someone else down? Can LeBron be legendary without threatening Jordan's throne? Can Jordan remain the GOAT without dismissing what LeBron has done? Gary didn't think so. He drew his line, and the NBA world split right down the middle. Where do you stand? Is this debate being driven by media narratives instead of what actually happened on the court? Or is this just another case of former players struggling to accept that greatness evolves? Drop your take in the comments. Argue it out. Because whether you agree or not, Gary Payton said what millions were thinking, and he reopened the biggest basketball debate of our time.